right, black and white sports supporters. Well, this is getting very interesting. And I got to be honest, it does not look like it's getting any closer. And I'm talking about the WNBA Players Union and the WNBA owners, a.k.a., in this case, NBA owners. They don't look like they're close to striking a CBA deal. And now a report...
The WNBA, a league built on decades of investment, is staring down an unprecedented crisis, facing projected losses of an astronomical $700 million over the next collective bargaining agreement. This financial bombshell, if accepted, would not just jeopardize the league's health, it would eclipse the combined losses sustained throughout its entire 29-year history, sending shockwaves through the very foundation of women's professional basketball. The stark reality has sparked an uproar, with critics openly questioning the sanity behind proposals that could effectively sign the league's death warrant. This isn't just about money, it's about the future. And right now, that future looks incredibly bleak and divisive.
As it's heading now, I'm going to be honest. I'm starting to believe that the end of the WNBA, the end of the league, is now on the table. Because there's just no, when you look at the revenue loss, there's no point. What is the point of keeping this league going? This emerged last night from ESPN as negotiations between the WNBA and Women's National Basketball Players Association, Players Union, over a new collective bargaining agreement nears a January 9 deadline. The sides remain far apart on key issues.
Instructions: objective, craft an in-depth, original, and thought-provoking analysis. Engagement: focus on hooking and engagement. Length: maintain the exact same length as the original provided text. Do not make the rewritten text shorter, meaning, ensure the core sense of the original script is fully maintained. Specific edit: change all occurrences of shadur to shedur within the post. Change all shadur and shedur to shedur every time you face this name. Text to rewrite: the escalating tensions stem from a deadlocked collective bargaining agreement between the WNBA Players Association and the league's owners, with a critical January 9 deadline looming large. Sources close to the negotiations reveal the two sides remain miles apart on fundamental issues, particularly the structure of a new revenue-sharing system and what exactly constitutes revenue and expenses. This isn't a minor disagreement. It's a foundational dispute over the financial identity and viability of the entire organization. The deep chasm in understanding threatens to unravel years of progress, leaving fans and stakeholders in...
Is that a joke? That can't happen. It would result in $700 million in losses over the course of the agreement. Such losses would jeopardize the league's financial health. No kidding. Be like putting a silver bullet in it. The sources said they would be more than the combined losses of the league and its teams in the first 29 years of existence. So,
instructions: objective, create an in-depth, original, and thought-provoking analysis. Engagement: focus on hooking and engagement. Length: maintain the exact same length as the original provided text. Do not make the rewritten text shorter, meaning, ensure the core sense of the original script is fully maintained. Specific edit: change all occurrences of shadur to shedur within the post. Change all shadur and shedur to shedur every time you face this name. Text to rewrite: at the heart of the controversy is a recent proposal from the WNBPA, which demands players receive approximately 30% of gross revenue, accompanied by an astonishing $10.5 million salary cap. This figure, according to critics, is not only unrealistic but utterly laughable, pushing the league into an untenable financial position. The incredulity stems from the sheer audacity of the demand, especially when considering the league's historical financial struggle. Observers are struggling to comprehend how the players' union could present such a proposal with a straight face, given the grave implications for the WNBA's very...
Sources said they would be more than the combined losses of the league and its teams in the first 29 years of existence. So over the course of whatever the agreement would be, 3 or 4 years, they would lose more money than they've lost in the last 29 years combined. The projection sources said, was determined based on previously audited league financial information. But the union believes its revenue sharing model still puts the league in, quote, a profitable position. A separate
Instructions objective, create an in-depth, original, and thought-provoking analysis. Engagement, focus on hooking and engagement. Length, maintain the exact same length as the original provided text. Do not make the rewritten text shorter, meaning, ensure the core sense of the original script is fully maintained. Specific edit, change all occurrences of shadur to shedur within the post. Change all shadur and shedur to shedur every time you face this name. Text to rewrite. Independent league forecasts, drawn from verified fiscal data, depict a genuinely disastrous scenario should the Players Association's proposition gain acceptance. That projected $700 million deficit across the agreement's duration isn't theoretical. It constitutes a critical danger to the WNBA's very survival. To illustrate, these predicted shortfalls would overshadow every single dollar forfeited by the league and its franchises during the past 29 years together. This isn't simply a setback. It's a financial precipice that the league urgently seeks to circumvent, sparking profound alarm.
Players are idiots. Do you expect the league to just forever keep trying to expand? No, that's not the way pro sports work. The NFL hasn't expanded in how many years? 20? You can't count on expansion fees as part of the money you're going to get. My God. Hey, I'm going to keep it real. This is what you get when you got people running this thing that are profiting or involved with other competitive leagues to this league.
However, the Players' Union adamantly disputes these dire financial forecasts, with a separate source close to negotiations calling the league's projected loss figure absolutely false. The union firmly believes its own revenue-sharing model would still position the league for profitability, despite the owner's stark warnings. This glaring discrepancy points to a fundamental difference in how each side views the league's financial health and its potential. The unwavering conviction on both sides highlights the deep-seated mistrust and conflicting interpretations of economic reality that are currently paralyzing productive discussions, leaving the true financial picture clouded in contempt.
Unrivaled's really going to take off. I'm going to tell you, those players better get together away from the committee and they better vote Breonna Stewart and Aficia Collier the hell out of this. They better get them out of there. Either way, the two sides remain divided on the nature of the next deal's revenue share model, sources told ESPN. The league has proposed a system where players would...
The core of this financial disagreement lies in the contentious issue of expansion fees, a significant point of contention between the two warring factions. The league categorically considers these massive fees, paid by new teams joining the WNBA, as transactions generating zero net revenue. Their argument is that while new teams pay the fee, they gain a fractional share of future revenue, and existing teams receive a portion of the fee but lose an equal share of future revenue, creating a net zero effect. This complex accounting interpretation has become a major sticking point, fueling the fiery debate over the league's actual profitability and the feasibility.
By the end of the deal would be $780,000 a year. They're making what, $120,000 on average now? The salary cap would be $5 million in the first year and grow with the revenue growth. That's fair. It would grow as the league grows. The league has previously said, in addition to substantially increasing salaries and other cost commitments, it wants to incentivize owners to continue to invest in operating the business. The WNBA tremendous growth in recent years provides an opportunity for the business to go from operating at losses to building sustained profitability.
Instructions objective, create an in-depth, original, and thought-provoking analysis. Engagement, focus on hooking and engagement. Length, maintain the exact same length as the original provided text. Do not make the rewritten text shorter, meaning, ensure the core sense of the original script is fully maintained. Specific edit, change all occurrences of shadur to shedur within the post. Change all shadur and shedur to shedur every time you face this name. Text to rewrite, Conversely, the players' union's proposal boldly accounts for these expansion fees and its financial projections, viewing them as substantial real money that directly contributes to the owner's bottom line. The union sees these multi-million-dollar infusions as tangible assets that should be factored into revenue calculations for player compensation. This perspective fundamentally clashes with the league's financial philosophy, creating an almost unbridgeable gap in their economic understanding. The dispute over how to categorize and value these massive payments has become a symbol of the larger, deep-seated...
And out of sheer charity, these owners have kept this league afloat. If I'm them, and it's a hell of a position to be in because they got Caitlin Clark, and they know the league can turn a profit with this media rights deal, and I said, yeah, they're about to start turning a profit. Provided the players aren't unreasonable, even they can kill the value of the media rights deal to their business if their proposal is ridiculous. And this is ridiculous.
The WNBA is currently experiencing a significant period of expansion, with plans to grow to 18 teams in the coming years. Portland and Toronto are slated to debut in 2026, while Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia have already committed a staggering $250 million each to join the league between 2028 and 2030. These colossal investments are undeniable proof of the league's perceived growth and future potential. Yet, the very financial mechanisms driving this expansion have become a battleground, illustrating the immense stakes and the complex monetary ecosystem underpinning the sport. The influx of new capital is both a blessing and a curse in this contentious environment. The speaker expressed utter disbelief at the players' union's financial logic, specifically their reliance on expansion fees as a sustainable revenue stream. "You players are idiots," was the blunt assessment, arguing that expecting the league to forever keep trying to expand is a fundamental misunderstanding of professional sports economics. Critics point to leagues like the NFL, which hasn't expanded in decades, as proof that expansion fees are finite and cannot be a perpetual income source for player salaries. This sharp rebuke underscores the deep frustration felt by those who believe the union's demands are detached from basic business realities, jeopardizing the very future it claims to protect. Amidst this intense standoff, the league has put forth its own proposal, aiming for a more equitable and sustainable revenue-sharing model. This includes a system where players would receive in excess of 50% of the net revenue, specifically defined as revenue remaining after subtracting all operational expenses. This approach is widely considered fair by those who understand the intricacies of running a professional sports league, ensuring that the business can first cover its costs before distributing profits. It represents a pragmatic attempt to balance player compensation with the long-term financial health and profitability of the WNBA, a delicate and often contentious equilibrium. The league's proposal also outlines substantial increases in player compensation, promising an uncapped revenue-sharing component and a significant boost to maximum salaries. Under this deal, top players could see their maximum salaries rise above $1.3 million, with projections to reach nearly $2 million over the life of the agreement. This represents a considerable jump from current figures. Demonstrating the league's commitment to rewarding its star athletes more generously, the offer aims to incentivize high-level talent while still maintaining fiscal responsibility, a crucial balancing act in the ongoing high-stakes negotiations that threaten to unravel the WNBA's carefully constructed future. Furthermore, the league's proposal envisions a dramatic increase in average player salaries, projecting them to reach an impressive $780,000 annually by the end of the deal. This is a monumental leap from the current average of approximately $120,000 per year, representing a life-changing financial upgrade for many athletes. The proposed salary cap would also start at $5 million in the first year and critically grow in direct correlation with the league's revenue growth. This fair and incentivizing structure aims to ensure that player compensation is intrinsically tied to the overall success and profitability of the WNBA, fostering a shared stake in its future. Beyond the immediate financial figures, the WNBA's long-term objective is clear: to transition from operating at consistent losses to building sustained profitability. The league has openly stated its intention to incentivize owners to continue investing in and operating the business. acknowledging the substantial financial commitments required. Tremendous growth in recent years, fueled by rising viewership and increasing popularity, provides a unique opportunity for this pivotal shift. The owners are keen to capitalize on this momentum, but they require a collective bargaining agreement that supports rather than undermines this crucial journey towards financial stability and enduring success for the sport. The sheer frustration over the players' union stance is palpable among observers, with the speaker exclaiming, "Who is advising these people? I mean, honestly, who are advising these people? This is unbelievable. That's unbelievable." The incredulity stems from a perceived disconnect between the union's demands and the fundamental business principles required to keep a league afloat. Critics argue that the union appears content with NBA owners continuing to operate the WNBA without ever turning a profit, essentially relying on sheer charity to sustain the enterprise. This profound bewilderment highlights the deep philosophical chasm that has opened up between the two negotiating parties. The speaker voiced profound concern that the players' demands indicate a willingness to keep the WNBA operating solely on the generosity of NBA owners, never achieving self-sufficiency. This perspective suggests a troubling disconnect from the basic understanding that a business gotta make a profit in order to stay in business. The idea that a professional sports league should exist out of sheer charity for its players is considered an unsustainable and ultimately destructive model. This criticism emphasizes the urgency for both sides to acknowledge the economic realities, ensuring the league's viability beyond mere patronage, fostering self-reliance for its future. A crucial factor amplifying the stakes in these negotiations is the Caitlin Clark effect. Coupled with an impending media rights deal expected to significantly boost the league's revenue, with the league on the cusp of truly turning a profit, provided the players aren't unreasonable, the timing of these demands is seen as particularly precarious. Critics argue that an overly aggressive or ridiculous player proposal could effectively kill the value of the media rights deal, undermining the very financial lifeline poised to elevate the WNBA to unprecedented profitability. The potential to squander this golden opportunity casts a long, ominous shadow over the negotiation table. The speaker's frustration reached boiling point, labeling the players' union's proposal as nasty-ass work and unequivocally calling for the immediate dismissal of whoever is in charge. This unbridled outrage underscores the depth of concern regarding the potential catastrophic consequences of the current deadlock. The sentiment reflects a desperate plea for rational leadership, fearing that the league is being steered towards an unavoidable collapse due to seemingly irrational demands. The language is sharp, the tone is urgent, and the message is clear. The current path is unsustainable, demanding immediate and drastic intervention to save the WNBA from itself. The urgency of the situation has led to calls for NBA Commissioner Adam Silver to step in and impose a definitive deadline. The speaker insists Silver should unequivocally state that the current trajectory is unacceptable and unsustainable. The suggestion is to set a firm date, perhaps February 28th, as a final ultimatum for reaching a resolution. This extraordinary call for intervention highlights the perceived failure of the current negotiation process and the critical need for a powerful, neutral arbiter to prevent further deterioration, underscoring the severe gravity of the impasse and the potential for irreparable damage to the league's standing. If the players' union continues down its current path of what critics deem ridiculous demands, the threat of a lockout looms large, with the speaker explicitly stating, "We are going to start a lockout." This isn't merely a negotiating tactic. It's a stark warning of a complete cessation of play, potentially leading to the end of the league. The prospect of a work stoppage would not only halt the WNBA's growing momentum, but could irrevocably damage its fragile financial health, alienating fans and investors alike. The very existence of women's professional basketball now hangs by a thread, caught in a high-stakes game of brinkmanship. The WNBA's future now teeters on the brink, shrouded in profound uncertainty, as these high-stakes negotiations threaten to